Hi, my name is Matthew Belisario. Welcome to another edition of the Belisario Sonic YouTube channel. Today is part 2 of my video on jazz for newcomers. So I did accessible jazz albums and artists. I did it back in March, part 1, and I went through some of the things that I thought would be great for people who are new to jazz. And this here's the second part to that video. And this video is a little bit different. I did 10 albums. In this case, I just present them on CD. Some of them I have on vinyl, but for the sake of the video, to make it easy, I've got the CDs here that I want to recommend. And then a lot of these are easy to find on CD for those people that are getting into jazz. So I'm just going to go through these 10 albums, and these are my recommendations for those who are just interested in listening to some jazz, and the ones that I find to be very accessible. So on my my jazz 2021 vinyl tag, I talked about this album as being one of the first that got me into jazz. And so I think that this album, Louis Armstrong Plays W.C. Handy, is still one of my favorite jazz albums, and a great one for people that are just getting into jazz, because it's that New Orleans type jazz, and it's got vocals with it as well. And it's kind of a fun, happy type of jazz where the lyrics are enjoyable. Louis' voice is a lot of fun, and the music is just kind of puts you in a happy mood. And so it's kind of, to me, one of those great jazz albums, and it's got all the classics on there, like St. Louis Blues, Lonesome, Long Gone, the Memphis Blues, Beale Street Blues, Old Miss Blues, and if you get the Jazz Masterpiece version, you get extra tracks on there that was not on the original album. So that's my first recommendation for getting into jazz, is Louis Armstrong Plays W.C. Handy. Just great fun stuff. Now this is going to be a kind of a cliche recommendation, but you know, a lot of people like to say that this album's overplayed or over recommended. I don't think so. It's a great record for those people that are just want to get into jazz, and they're great songs, and you got great musicians on here. You've got Miles Davis, Cannonball Adderley, Coltrane, Wynton Kelly, Bill Evans, Paul Chambers, and Jimmy Cobb. So yeah, it's you know, one of those albums that everybody says is great, and then you get the whole crowd that's like, oh, this has just been played out. And but for those people that are not familiar with jazz, it's still a great record. It was one of the first ones as well that I got into early on, and it just took me into all the directions, because you know, with so many great artists on there as well, it got me into a lot of different jazz artists to go listen to. So this is a great album to start off with, and you can find them used on CD all over. Now, number 3 is one of my favorite records. It's Freddie Hubbard, Open Sesame. Just a great album, and Freddie Hubbard is one of the greatest trumpet players, so this kind of will give you insight into the great trumpet player. It also has Tina Brooks on tenor sax, McCoy Tyner's on piano, Sam Jones on bass. So, I mean, just a great outing. And this right here is one of those XR CDs, and it does sound really good, but you can get it on a regular CD as well. And just a great album. So I would recommend this as well. Staying in the same vein, same type of music, is another one that I really like, and that's Hank Mobley's Workout. And again, I think it's just very accessible. You've got Grant Green on guitar, so you get exposed to Grant Green. You got Wynton Kelly on piano, again, Paul Chambers on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on drums. Those two guys just great on the rhythm section. So you're going to get a great introduction to some more players there. And again, just another great accessible jazz CD to listen to. Now, as far as I'm going to recommend some newer jazz records that I think are just great as well. And this one's called Directions in Music, celebrating Miles Davis and John Coltrane. And this is a great album. It's live at Massey Hall. Herbie Hancock, Michael Brecker, Roy Hargrove on this. And This is, and Brian Blade is on drums. So this is a great live album, and it's the sound quality is great. It's a little more modern sounding, but you've got a lot of the classics on here, like The Sorcerer by Hancock, So What, Davis Impressions, Davis Coltrane, Naima, Coltrane, Transition, Coltrane. So you've got some pretty cool songs on there, but they're modern interpretations of them. And I think this is a great, fun record to get, and you can find them all over for pretty inexpensive. So the next one I have is a great saxophone player, a modern saxophone player, and this right here was this guy named James Carter, Conversation with the Elders. And so this is a really nice album. And again, it's going back, kind of paying tribute to Charlie Parker and Lester Young and Coltrane and things like that. So I would definitely recommend this for a modern jazz record that you want to get. Just a really accessible record, in my opinion, and great sound quality by a modern jazz saxophonist. In that same vein, I got into both of these guys about the same time. This is a great New Orleans trumpet record in that vein of Louis Armstrong, and that's Nicholas Payton. And this right here was one of his first albums, if not his first, called Gumbo Nouveau. So you're going to get that When the Saints Go Marching In, Whoopin' Blues, I Got a Right to Sing the Blues, St. James Infirmary, a lot of the classics, but again, done with modern recording, and it sounds really good. And this guy is just fantastic. I saw him live some years ago in Charlotte, North Carolina, back when I lived there, and it was one of the most inspiring concerts I think I've ever seen. That these guys were just absolutely on fire in a really small jazz club, and got to sit right in front of the stage, and there he signed my CD back then. And so I think this was probably back in maybe like 97 or something like that when I got this. So anyways, this is a great accessible record to get. And again, it's kind of that fun New Orleans type of music, but in a modern recording. So that's a really good one. I recommend that. For all the jazz or guitar players out there, one of the ones that I thought was just a really good album is Jimmy Bruno's Burning. And for those guitar players out there that are just getting into jazz, this is one of the best albums he's done, and it's just phenomenal. The guy's blistering on guitar. This is a trio here, and so I recommend this one here for those people that want to hear just like a jazz guitar album, and it's a modern recording, so the sound quality is really good on that. All right. Another one that I think is a really good record to start off with, and because they're standard jazz tunes, is Keith Jarrett, Standards Volume 1 with Gary Peacock and Jack DeJohnette. This is a great record, and again, I think a very accessible record here. You've got Meaning of the Blues, All the Things That You Are, The Masquerade Is Over, God Bless the Child. So you can see there you've got a lot of the classics. And again, these guys are just great players, and just a great album to pick up on CD or vinyl. I got them on both, this particular record. So I would recommend this for standards and good recording and great musicianship. All right, and last but not least, just one of the most popular audiophile recordings, and great vocals, great percussion, guitars, great sound quality, is Patricia Barber's Cafe Blue. And this is just a great record. I've got it on vinyl, a couple different versions. I got a couple different versions on CD. This one being an unmastered version, which is a little hard to find, and I think it sounds really good, very raw, but the very pristine, the separation of the different instruments and the percussion and the guitar playing, and of course the vocals and piano. This is a great sounding record. Again, if you can't find it with the unmastered version, you can find just the regular CD version, which is again really great, and it kind of gives you a little bit different view on jazz, because it's not quite the same as everything else that I've shown you. It's kind of more of a modern Latin sounding, if you will, more percussive type of jazz with beautiful vocals and just a great sounding jazz record. And I think it should belong in everybody's collection just because it sounds so good, and the songs are great, and it is, I think, pretty accessible for people that they can put it on and really enjoy it. So those are my recommendations there. 10 albums there in about 10 minutes for all of you people that are new to jazz. My recommendations. All right, well, we'll see you on the next video installment. Take care.